What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, bringing you yet another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle today against Anderp, who's a subscriber/follower on Twitter. So yeah, we're gonna have a match today. It's really all I have to say. It's a UU match, so it should be a lot of fun. And before we get started today, would just like to remind you guys that as long as this video reaches that magical number of 60 likes, that's what we're shooting for, I will continue to bring you these lovely daily Wi-Fi battle uploads and all of that fun stuff. Now today, like I said, it's a UU match, and my opponent is bringing some cool stuff. Hopefully that Kangaskhan is not Mega. I don't think it is, though. He seems like a pretty cool guy, so he wouldn't do that. At least I hope. He's got the Kangaskhan Sock, which is a huge threat, Rotom Heat, Raikou, Shuckle, and Cofagrigus. I'm bringing Persian Gardevoir. Non-Mega, by the way. It's going to be not physically defensive, specially defensive. Jolteon, Samurott, Golbat, and Torkoal. So, very interesting Pokemon that we're bringing today. Most of mine are NU, or RU, I guess. I think Jolteon's my only UU Pokemon. Actually, Gardevoir was, I think, RU last generation, but I don't know what it is this generation. Probably UU. Who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about. I know Mega Gardevoir is banned in UU, so that is that. Anyway, I need to figure out what I want to lead off with here, and I'm thinking Jolteon, just because it's going to be faster than everything on his team, bar something with a Choice Scarf, and that's what I'm going to do. That is what we are leading off with, and hopefully we can go into, well, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We're going to start off with Jolteon, because that will help me get initiative, and get a good matchup with, you know, whatever he wants to bring out. And, yeah, we'll just see what happens. I haven't used Jolteon in a while. But, like I said, I am bringing some new Pokemon that you guys probably haven't seen on the channel yet. And by probably, I mean you haven't seen on the channel yet. Just because I've noticed that over the past couple of weeks as I battle subscribers, they all know what my Pokemon do. And that's kind of unfortunate. This thing's going to set up Sticky Web, so we're going to go right into Torkoal. Where's Volt Switch? There it is. Volt Switch out. I would not be surprised if this is just Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, and then I don't know what else. I don't know what else these things like to do. But we're going to Volt Switch out because he can't block that with anything. He doesn't have anything with Lightning Rod, Volt Absorb, or a Ground type for that matter. So we're looking good here. I'm predicting that he's going to set up Stealth Rocks or Sticky Web this turn. That does a lot of damage to a Shuckle. A lot of damage. And I see no reason to not go into Torkoal here. Really don't see any reason to not do that. So there's the Torkoal, looking pretty. Shell Smash! It's an offensive... What? It's an offensive Shuckle. That is actually really, really cool. This guy knows what he's doing. Wow. Many props to you, my friend. Now, I kind of want to yawn this thing, to be honest. And force it out. Because I don't know what it's going to do. I've never seen offensive Shuckle. This could be dangerous. We're just going to yawn, see what he wants to do. We still outspeed, even though he's at +2. That's so funny. Oh my god, Torkoal. He's going to Encore me into that. He may have been predicting a Stealth Rocks. So do I want to double yawn here? That is the question. I don't think I do. But I don't know what attacks this thing has. Maybe Stone Edge, Bug Bite, that kind of thing. The dual stab. What do I want to switch in on this? I'm pretty sure he's going to switch. Instead of just letting his Shuckle fall asleep. Unless he's carrying the Lumberry or he's like Chesto Rest. Which could be a thing because he is carrying the Shell Smash. But his defenses are lowered. Do I want to stay in double yawn, though? I mean, because if he wants to switch, bring something else in, having that yawn would be great. Absolutely great. You know what? We're going to do that. We're going to double yawn. We're not going to switch. And he's going to stay in. Okay. He's going to stay in and Shell Smash again, but fall asleep. Alright, well, that's not good. Oh, he's contrary. Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that before. Okay, so his speed is harshly falling. That's why we outsped. As he falls asleep. I really need to get him out of here, don't I? There's the Chesto Berry. Crap. Okay, now I see what's going on. I should have noticed that before. Do I have any phasing? I don't have any phasers on this team. That is not good whatsoever, and his defenses are crazy high right now. This is not looking good for me. What should I do here? I kind of want to go into Golbat and Toxic him. I feel like that is a good play. But he had the Chesto Berry, so he has to have the rest. He might have Sleep Talk, too. That could be a possibility. But see, Golbat isn't really a safe switch because of the fact that... Well, no, he is, because his attack is lowered. What's he going to do? What is he really going to do? He might actually have Toxic. I'm so unfamiliar with Shuckle, I never see it. It's so not meta this generation. So there's the Golbat. He's going to go for the Toxic, so that is fantastic for me. So part of me wants to taunt him to prevent him from encoring me. So we're going to do that first. And we'll see what attacking moves he has after this point. He tried to go for a Shell Smash again, so that didn't work. Now we're going to Toxic, because there's no reason for me not to. If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think he has anything on his team that's going to be immune to the Toxic. He's going to switch out. Maybe he does. I should have taken a picture of his team. Why did I do that? He's going to switch into the Raikou here. So that's going to get Toxic, which is great. But the downside to that is that he's going to outspeed me and do a lot of damage. And I'm not looking forward to that. And if I remember correctly, I don't have any ground types on my team, so that could be a problem. That is a bit of a problem. The only thing I have on my team that can take special attacks is going to be Gardevoir, because it is specially defensive. I do have it EV'd on the special defensive side. And HP, it is my special wall. So this thing's probably going to go for an electric type move, I think. Well, actually, that might be a good opportunity to bring in Jolteon. We're going to do that. We're going to predict an electric type move and switch into Jolteon. I know that's fairly obvious, but that's what we're going to do. He's going to pull a double here into the Fallen, which is going to be his Cofagrigus. So I don't know what he predicted me to go into. Maybe the Gardevoir. I think that's what he predicted there. But I'm going to go into the Jolteon. And he kind of has to switch here. Because if I go for a Shadow Ball, that's going to hurt this thing really, really badly. So what I'm going to do is predict a switch and go for the Volt Switch. And no, he's going to stay in. Why would you do that? Maybe, unless he predicted me to predict that. That is not cool. So now what do I go into? Maybe he's going to Shadow Ball? I can't switch into my special wall here. I don't want to get Willowed either. This is difficult. He also could potentially have the knockoff. And if I switch into Golbat, that's not going to like it at all. It's not going to like it whatsoever. See, this thing's tough. This thing is definitely tough. I don't want to switch into Persian and get hit with really anything. Anything at all would be bad. But Golbat's going to be useless if he goes for the knockoff and I switch it in. I'm going to go into Torkoal. I don't know what else to do. I'm going to predict a knockoff and go into Torkoal. I feel like that's what he's going to do here. He's going to Willow, so that's even better. And I didn't even really predict that. I kind of saw that as an option, but I figured he wouldn't want to try to Willow a Jolteon. But maybe he was predicting the switch there. Now what's he going to do? Now what is he going to do? Probably going to Shadow Ball me now. I have nothing that's really wants to take that, and I don't want to risk switching in something to get hit with a knockoff. So what I'm going to do here is... I think I want to set up my rocks right now. I think that's my best play. So that's what we're going to do. He's going to disable... I guess predicting Torkoal to outspeed. I'm not sure why else he would do that, unless that was a misclick, but he shows that off. So that is a bit interesting that he showed that off. Let's go for the Yawn now and try to force this thing out, because I can't do a whole lot to it, other than Lava Plume, but I feel like that's not the best play at this point. And if he wants to switch something else in, I can feel like this is going to be kind of a stally match. We're almost 10 minutes in. We've had no casualties yet. Nothing has really taken a lot of damage either. So that is a thing. And he's kind of thinking pretty hard about this move here. He's going to withdraw, so that's perfect. We're going to get the yawn off on whatever wants to come in. And it's going to be just squiggly lines, squares, triangle things. He's going to get hurt by the rocks, and Rotom does not like that whatsoever. We're going to yawn him. And this thing can't really do a whole lot to me unless he wants to try to trick me a choice item, which is a possibility. Definitely a possibility. Or he could just try to go for an electric type move. So do I want to predict that? Do I want to predict that? Or I could switch into Jolteon, which can take pretty much anything this thing wants to throw at me. Decisions. I feel like going into Jolteon is a good play here, because he might switch out himself, and if that's the case, I can Volt Switch out again. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the Jolteon, and it doesn't look like he's withdrawing, so he's probably going for an electric type move. If he does, that's fantastic. Trick is fine as well. And no, he's going to Volt Switch, so there's the Volt Absorb. That really doesn't do much for him at all. He's going to fall asleep. And now we can Volt Switch again, because I don't see any reason not to. I know I've kind of just been spamming this, but there's really no reason for me to not go for the Volt Switch here and get some momentum. He's either going to switch out, or he's just going to stay in and let this thing die, because switching back in on the rocks is going to hurt as well. So that is a thing. There's the Volt Switch. He's staying in to stay asleep. So, oh, there is the Citrus Berry. Okay. Citrus Berry is a thing. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to set up, because he's going to stay asleep this turn, obviously. And the only Pokemon on my team that can actually set up is going to be the Samurott. Ironically enough, I have no setup Pokemon other than this thing. It is a physical one. So that's what we're going to do. He's going to stay asleep, which is fine. He pretty much recovered all of the damage from the Volt Switch, again, which is fine. I'm going to go for the Swords Dance. There's no reason for me not to at this point. He's going to stay asleep this turn. Oh, he's not? Did I miscount? Did I just really miscount that badly? I must have. Why did I think he wasn't going to wake up this turn? Oh no, I switched into Jolteon. That's right. I yawned and then I switched into Jolteon. I'm stupid. Why did I... Oh, that was a really bad misplay. That was a really bad misplay. Now we can Aqua Jet and, you know, hopefully kill this thing after a Swords Dance, but we took so much unnecessary damage. That was a really bad play on my part. That was a really, really bad play on my part. The Rotom's going to go down, so we're going to see our first casualty here, but I would venture a guess that this Samurott isn't going to last too much longer. The Kangaskhan is coming out, and I don't know what this thing likes to do. I actually just bred one of my own because I'm going to be using it. Of course, not Mega, but I don't know what he wants to be running. I guess just physically offensive. And Aqua Jet's not going to do a whole lot to this thing. I kind of want to predict a Fake Out. That somewhat makes sense. Somewhat makes sense. Is it worth it to stay in and go for damage here, though? That is the thing. I think it is. I think it might be, because I can take care of the Shuckle still, because it already has some prior damage. It's going to take more due to the Stealth Rocks. Shuckle's actually weak to Stealth Rocks. I got the Rotom out of the way, which is something that's going to be weak to the Aqua Jet. So we're just going to go for the Aqua Jet here. I know I don't outspeed. He's going to Fake Out, and we'll see how much this does. It actually just takes me out. Okay. Is that a Life Orb? It is. That is pretty much the exact set that I wanted to be running as a Life Orb Kangaskhan. That's actually really, really cool. Really, really cool. So let's see what I want to bring in now that I know that he's obviously physical. I think that the best play might be... Torkoal is going to wall this thing as long as it doesn't have Earthquake. But I want to get some Fake Out pressure of my own, so I'm going to go into Persian here. And he's not going to like this Fake Out. Nothing on his team really is. He might predict this and go into the Koffagrigus. But I'm just going to let him do that. If that's what he wants to do, that's fine. He is going to withdraw and go into the Cofagrigus, so the Fake Out's going to do nothing, but I didn't have anything to lose by going into Persian here, because he's just taking Stealth Rocks damage, and that is fine by me if that's what he wants to do. There's the leftovers. I kind of want to use Knockoff on that, but he's pretty obviously just going to go for a Willow here. That seems like what he wants to do. I can feel that. Yep, we're going to switch into Torkoal here, and by switch I mean U-turn, just in case he wants to make a double out. He's not going to, so this is really not going to do anything. He might actually have Rocky Helmet, so we might see that in a second. It's going to change my ability to Mummy, which really obviously does nothing. And there is the Life Orb damage, but no Rocky Helmet. Why am I even thinking that he has Rocky Helmet? We've seen the leftovers like 5 times. Sometimes I am just a little bit strange with this kind of stuff. Little bit strange. So now I have the option to go into Torkoal and potentially take a shot. Actually, I want to predict a Will-O-Wisp, and it's fine if Jolteon gets hit with that. It really is. And I can kill this thing with a Shadow Ball. I'm not going to mess around this time. He is going to go for the Shadow Ball here, so it's kind of a good thing that I didn't switch into whatchamacallit. I'm hoping he's not going to predict it this time, the Shadow Ball that is, and switch into Kangaskhan. That would be really bad. That would be really, really bad. He's probably going to bring the Kangaskhan in after this. Oh, he is going to withdraw. Please don't switch into Kangaskhan. That would be... He did. Wow. Okay. I didn't go for it last time. This time I did. So he got me there. The Fake Out is definitely coming. There's no reason for him to not go for that. So that was just a waste. That was really, really, really a waste. Okay, I want to go into Torkoal to take this Fake Out. Or Golbat, because Golbat's actually physically defensive as well. And if he has the Earthquake and Sucker Punch and then, you know, like Double Edge or something like that as his other move, Golbat really won't be able to touch this thing, and I can hit something up with a Toxic. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to predict him to not have a Rock-type move, and we'll see how it works out. I do have the Roost, so I will be able to recover off this damage. He goes for the Sucker Punch, so he doesn't think that I'm choiced with Jolteon, which is interesting because most of the time, Jolteon is choiced. We're going to go for a Toxic here. He's going to go for the Return, and that does okay damage. He's going to take the Life Orb, Recoil, which is fine. And I'm going to be able to roost off this damage as long as he doesn't get a crit this next turn. So that part is good. I guess I could go for a Brave Bird, but I feel like that's kind of silly. Really feel like that's kind of silly. Just go for the Roost here, see what he wants to do. He's going to stay in its Sucker Punch, which is even better because that's just going to rack up the Toxic damage. And I'm going to get back up to full health. This Golbat's going to be difficult for him to take down. I can feel it right now. Golbat is just not to be underestimated. It's really, really not. Really not. I would imagine that he's going to go for a Return here. That would be my best guess. So do I have anything that I want to switch into that? No, I do not. He might try to go for a Sucker Punch, but I have no reason to go for anything but Roost, I'm guessing. I could try to Toxic, predicting a switch. Do I want to predict a switch here? Is he going to leave this Kangaskhan in to basically just die at this point? Or does he want to switch out into, like, Raikou maybe? But Raikou's already poisoned. We're going to Roost and see what he wants to do. He is going to withdraw. I probably should have went for the Toxic. That was the better play. I'm just making a lot of misplays today. The Fallen is coming in. It would have been great to have this thing poisoned, but instead I went for the Roost. That is not cool. I can taunt this thing so that he cannot Willow or disable me, which is a good thing, but he can hit me with a Shadow Ball on my weaker side. And we haven't seen his fourth move yet. We know he has Shadow Ball. We know he has Will-O-Wisp Disable. He could very well have the Knockoff as his other move. That is a huge possibility right now. I can live another Shadow Ball if I switch into Jolteon. That's going to definitely put me into a priority range, though, if he has anything with priority. But I don't want Torkoal taking Shadow Balls either. We're going to go into Jolteon here and just basically see what happens. That's what it comes down to. All of my walls are still intact, so that is good, but I lost a sweeper already. Jolteon's going to be weakened after this unless he goes for Willow. And he's going to double out, predicting me to switch out. Sensei Levi? Okay, it's going to be his Sock. Now, these things are usually banded, but can I risk this thing being scarfed? Can I do that? That is the question. He has the Mold Breaker. So I guess it doesn't matter if his Sturdy is broken or not. I could very easily go into my Gardevoir here and try to burn something. Because close combat is going to be quad resisted. He might go for the Earthquake. That would do a lot of damage. And if he's Scarf, that might just take out my Gardevoir altogether. Will he predict the Golbat, though? And go for the Stone Edge? This is tough. This is really tough because it might just be a 2-hit KO if I switch in on a Stone Edge. And I really would like to keep Golbat alive. I really would like that. Yeah, we're going to switch into Golbat here. I know it's a little bit risky because of that Stone Edge, but I really don't see an option at this point. I'm afraid of the Scarf. Very much so. He's going to go for the close combat, so that's going to do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And judging by that damage, he might just be Scarfed. Also, judging by the way he brought that in, it could very well have been Scarfed. I kind of want a Toxic, predicting a switch into the Cofagrigus here. I could Brave Bird, obviously, and he would be afraid of that. Unless he switches in his... What does he have, Raikou? We're going to go for the Brave Bird, actually, instead of the Toxic. See what he wants to do. He is going to withdraw. He's afraid of the Flying type move, and I do not blame him. It's not a good matchup for him. He's going to switch in the Raikou, which is a great play. Great play on his part. He's going to get hurt by the rocks, and this damage from the rocks, because he's doing a lot of switching, it's really adding up here, and that's not good news for him. It's good news for me, because I can switch all I want. He does not have rocks up on my side of the field. Brave Bird does okay damage. He's going to get hurt by the Toxic damage as well. Of course, not very much. He might predict Jolteon to switch in here and go for a Aura Sphere. So, that being said, I'm going to switch into Gardevoir. I don't see any reason not to at this point, because Aura Sphere is still going to hurt Jolteon quite a bit. I know if he does go for the Electric type move, I'll get the Volt Absorb and be in a great position, but I can't really afford to have Jolteon go down to an Aura Sphere. So we're going to switch out into Gardevoir here. It is my special wall, so I should be able to take any hit it wants to throw my way pretty easily. And there's the Trace. So we're going to Trace its pressure. It really doesn't do a whole lot for us, but it's something. There's the extra sensory, so that's not going to do any damage whatsoever. I think he was, in fact, predicting the Jolteon there. That's why he felt that the extra sensory was going to be safer than the Electric type move. He is going to get hurt by the Toxic damage there. And part of me wants to go for a Wish here. I really don't see anything stopping me from going for a Wish. I could go for a Psychic as well. I could be a real loser and go for a Protect here just to see what he wants to do. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to throw up a Wish. He's going to switch out. So that's a free Wish for me, which is great. The Fallen is coming in. That means we're going to be able to pass a Wish into Jolteon, because he cannot get rid of Jolteon just in one hit, because we've seen how much damage the Shadow Ball does, so it's going to have to be a crit to knock this thing out. And I don't want to risk staying in and going for a Psychic, all that stuff. I'm not invested in special attack whatsoever. I'd much rather get the HP back on the Jolteon, so that's what we're going to do. This match has turned into a little bit of a stall fest, but we both brought some very bulky Pokemon. As we're coming up on, what, the 25-minute mark? Coming up soon? Soon-ish? There's the Jolteon. We'll see what he wants to go for. Probably the Shadow Ball. No, he's just going to straight up withdraw, which means I'm going to get that free wish. He's going to go into the Sock. I really think that this thing is Choice Scarfed. I really am feeling that right now. This is a tough position for me to be in. This is really a tough position for me to be in, because if he predicts the Golbat again and goes for the Stone Edge and connects, that's probably going to be a 2-hit KO. And if I switch into Torkoal and he hits me with a... But if I stay in and have Jolteon go down, that would be a really bad time for me. Really bad time. We're going to switch. Oh my God, I feel like we're just switching over and over and over again, and not a whole lot is getting done. The switches are just everywhere right now. They are just everywhere. We're going to switch in the Torkoal on this thing. I really feel like he's going to not go for the close combat. I feel like the Stone Edge is coming. He is going to go for the Stone Edge, predicting the Golbat. I figured that would happen. It's still going to do a lot of damage to Torkoal, but really not that much. That tells me that this is definitely a Choice Scarfed Sock. So what we're going to do here is go for the Lava Plume. There's no reason for me not to. He's locked into the Stone Edge. And so I'm relatively safe here. I do have the Citrus Berry, I believe, because I don't have 2 leftovers. In comes the Raikou. So he's going to take damage from the rocks, he's going to take damage from Lava Plume, and he's going to take toxic damage, so that's pretty much going to be the end of this Raikou. Pretty much. These things are usually specially offensive, so he's not going to take that incredibly well. In fact, he just straight up dies to it, so Torkoal getting the kill on a Raikou. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? Torkoal is nothing to mess around with. Nothing to mess around with. I bring Torkoal in any tier, pretty much. I bring it in NU, I bring it in RU, UU, OU. I don't ever do Ubers battles, but I might consider bringing it to Ubers. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Torkoal will get slaughtered in Ubers. But anyway, in comes the Shuckle. Okay. The Shuckle is here, and he takes a crap ton of damage due to that Stealth Rocks, because he's weak to it, obviously. And so, he might try to rest on me here. And so I feel it is in my best interest to switch into Golbat, predicting that. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Does that make any sense at all to do that? I feel like it could. But he does have the rest. So he's just going to be able to heal it off. And that is a problem. That is a big problem. He might just go straight for the Shell Smash as well. And that would also be a problem. Everything is a problem. That's just what it comes down to. Everything is a problem right now because I don't have the firepower to take this thing out. Lava Plume's not going to do anything. I know it's going to be a neutral hit, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to switch into Jolteon here because that is really the largest amount of firepower I have. I wish I still had Samurai around, but I misplayed that so badly. So badly, and it's costing me here. There's the rest. That was very obvious. This thing is going to be tough to take down because I don't think I have anything that's going to be super effective on it other than rocks. And that's not even an attack. Let me just take a look here. Nope, I have nothing that's super effective on this thing. Great. Great. Let's go for the Thunderbolt. We're going to lock ourselves into that, see how much it does. Obviously, he was not able to get a Shell Smash boost yet. So that still does about 50%. So unless he has Sleep Talk and gets the Shell Smash here, which he does not, he's going to have to switch out. And I don't think he has any resist left because Rotom and... what else? What was it? Raikou are both down, and those were his 2 Electric-type resists. He's in a bad spot right here. Taking a Specs Thunderbolt to the face from a Jolteon is not something that's desirable. He's going to have to let something die, basically. And it's going to be the Shuckle. He's just going to straight up die to that. So another huge not a threat, but a huge wall out of the way. So we're actually making some progress now, which is fantastic. In comes the Sock again. And yeah, he's going to take more rocks damage. We know this thing is scarfed. So it's just a matter of what he wants to go for here, basically. Basically, that's what it comes down to. He might predict the... Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, Stone Edge is pretty much going to work on anything that I want to switch in. So that is unfortunate. I would rather have anything else on my team die except for Torkoal. Or not Torkoal, except for Jolteon, because that just is killing everything right now. And it's the main offensive threat that I have. Can't switch in Persian on this thing, even to get fake out stuff going. So we're going to switch into Torkoal again. And he's going to take another hit. He can take another hit, no matter what it is, whether it's Earthquake or Stone Edge, close combat. He'll be able to survive all of it. But he's going to go for the Retaliate. It's going to do a lot of damage. Ooh, actually didn't do that much damage at all. Wow. Torkoal, you beast. You beast. You're just too thick. It's actually a really good move to have on a Sock that's Choice Scarfed. I mean, if it wasn't for Torkoal's massive bulk, that would be a huge problem. I'm going to go for the Lava Plume. He's going to switch out because he doesn't want to be locked into Retaliate. And he basically needs that Sock to win. He's going to switch into his The Fallen, which is his Cofagrigus. He's going to take Stealth Rocks damage. He's going to take Lava Plume. And maybe a burn here. And we get the burn, which is a bit unfortunate for him. That is a little bit hacksy. I mean, I know it's a 30% chance, but still. There's the burn damage. He's going to be able to barely survive that with the Lefty's recovery. Thank you, Lefties. We'll see what he wants to go for here. Probably just Shadow Ball. Really don't see any reason for him to go for anything else. And we're just gonna stay in, I guess. There's no reason for me to switch. None at all. I don't want to take damage on anything else. He's just gonna go for the Shadow Ball. That will probably just take out this Torkoal. But, oh no, it will not. Torkoal surviving special hits, too. That is a dead Cofagrigus. He's probably going to bring in the Sock next to finish me off. There's nothing I can do about that. This is a long match. It's already over half an hour. Oh my goodness. Out comes the Kangaskhan, who is obviously going to go for the Fake Out as he takes rocks damage. And he's going to kind of hurt himself there with the Poison as well. So that being said, we're going to switch in the... We're going to switch in the Golbat here because he can't really do anything to me whatsoever. The last time I was in, he just decided to go for the returns. He might go for that here. Actually, no, he's going to go for the Fake Out. I'm sorry. Forgot about that. He's going to go for the Fake Out, and now he will probably go for the return. We're just going to go for the Roost. There's no reason for me to go for anything else. I guess I could just Brave Bird if he wants to switch in the Sock, but I don't know that he would want to do that. I'd rather be at full health. I know I'm playing very conservatively, even though I have a big lead, but that's just how I play, because the luck usually is not on my side. I know the last couple of weeks, if you've been watching my videos, the hacks that I've been getting in my favor has been absolutely ridiculous. But that's not normal for me whatsoever. In fact, it's just the opposite. It's normally the worst possible luck you will ever see. And so I don't want to mess around with crits and that kind of stuff because things can turn around very quickly. And he's got a Choice Scarf Sock, so that's a bit dangerous. He's going to go over the Stone Edge here, I'm guessing, because that pretty much does a lot to my entire team. To be honest, it really does. Really does. So what we're going to do here is just go for a Brave Bird because that's just what I'm going to do. Brave Bird is the move to go for here. I avoid the attack on the Stone Edge. I don't think that would have killed unless he got a crit because I am Eviolite, physically defensive. But that's going to be the match. So the hacks, unfortunately, was kind of bad. It ended up being a 5-0 after over a half an hour, almost 35 minutes worth of this battle. Absolute craziness. But the battle was a lot closer than a 5-0. Obviously, that's why I always say that the score does not matter. I've been 6-0'd in matches that were actually very close. And this was kind of one of those matches. It was a very close match. It was back and forth. There was a lot of momentum grabbing going on, and in no way was it a blowout or anything like that. It was actually a lot of fun. Lot of fun. I don't play UU a whole lot. I've been sticking to the lower tiers, but that was a lot of fun. So thank you for the match, Anderp. As always, forget what your Twitter name is, but your Twitter link will be in the description below. So thank you for the battle, and thank you all for watching today. Do not forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, because it does help out a lot. So I will see you guys for the next battle, but until then, game on.